Welcome to the month in my unfolding community. And it's nice to see you here. I'm really super excited about this month. It actually is all about the passion, right? We all have the fire in us, so it's about fire. And one of the subjects that I'm going to be really talking about, we're going to do a deep dive into, is markets. So I don't know if you know this, but as a creator, your market is as individual as your personal work. So it's with every person that I work with, and with myself, I like to find where we begin with our personal work. So I teach business and art and creativity through personal alignment. So we use breathwork, I use meditations, I use prompts to get you to right into the core of who you are and what you're about and get you into your real work. At this time in the world, artists are doing so well, and artists are needed, creators needed more than ever. And you're going to find that in this type of environment. We are the heartbeat of the world. We inspire, and our work, our true work, can really help heal the world. And that is my belief, and I can see it happening. Here at my community here at the Screw Factory, when retail shows open up, people are saying they're doing record number of sales, which is so cool for me to see. I haven't shown up retail yet. I'm doing wholesale. So when you get into your real work, you can get into your real success. So sometimes you have to work through blockages. That's why we do these meditations and breath work. You work through blockages, you work through just to get there. So there's breathwork sessions in here and good marketing beginnings. This month begins with fire. So I want to talk a little bit about the breath work. Not destructive fire, but clarifying fire. So the kind that burns through your frustration, your confusion, any comparisons that you have, and any kind of stuck energy. This is the kind that burns through and gives you a clear space. Because anytime we want to expand and grow and move forward, we have to let go of something. And that's the way that I like to work within here. So the breath work is going to be able to help you to release. So there's always something sitting underneath, like a blockage in your work. So, or in your life, that you have to get unstuck. So if your work is stuck, then your life is kind of stuck. If your life is stuck, then your work gets stuck. And some of the things that could create that is having like anger that you can't move forward, anger of not finding the right market, a fear that your work isn't being seen, a fear your work isn't good enough, and sometimes people are frustrated about money or mad about money or visibility, or they can't get into a show. So there's a lot of frustration here, and this breath work will help you to get at the core of what your issues are. We don't want to ignore it. We want to move through it. We want to move through the breath, we want to move through the awareness, and we want to let, whatever our stuckness is come up and out. And that's the way we start each month in Unfolding, working with. So this month, we don't really want to feel the pressure, because when you can we all have fire, we all operate as creators with fire. And when we can get through, sometimes it comes out in anger, but what we really want is this to come out in passion. How about having passion again in your life? Passion for your work, passion for your life. And this is the shift. It goes from holding on to anger or frustration into releasing it. It goes from tension into movement. That's the breath work. We'll get, we won't have to jump around. We just get our body moving with energy. This is energy work there. And confusion, this type of breath work will help you get in from confusion into clarity. And this is why I like doing this type of work with breath work in here. So I think you guys are going to love this session in here. It's 20 minutes long, and it's designed to get you out of the stuck from your work and in your life, and just really into clarity. So I want to talk again. I mention this every month. My formula for success that I work with artists with, is first of all, doing this work and getting clarity. And there's different prompts. There's a journal area in here where you will be, really just think about a couple good questions. This isn't going to use up a lot of your time. It's just going to keep Unfolding is here to remind you of who you are and what you're here to do. So the formula that I work with is getting into your clarity. Who are you? What are you doing? What is your work like? Then the next step is, like, when you get through clarity, you get into passion. What do I love to build? You know, what excites me? What direction am I going? This is where marketing really helps you, because your work is equal to your marketing. And I'll talk about that more in a minute. After you get your passion, you start getting aligned, because you're working towards the good of the whole. You're working towards what completely lights you up. And if you only start working in that direction and you get aligned, you move into magnetism. And magnetism is literally where, you know, you can show up. It's like attracts like. So you can show up in a market, you can show up with your work, and your people will find you through your real work. So if you're true to yourself, magnetism happens, right? And then what happens is magnetism turns into success. And that really is the steps to take. So in Unfolding, we work on every single area inside of here. And this month, we're working on passion. You know, what market do you have a passion for? So I'm Susan Lennart, and just in case you don't exactly know what I do, I actually have worked in almost every single market in the wearable art field. You know, I've worked in doing museum exhibits. I've worked in you know, really high-end commercial lines of jewelry. I've worked in runway, you know, clothing, jewelry on the runway. So, you know, for me, I've worked in one of a kind and selling one of a kind. So I have a lot to talk about today, and I want to help you find what is closer to aligning with you for your market. There's so many people that just will go out, you know, and if a gallery comes up to them and asks them, they're just like, yay, I got into this gallery. This is what I want to do, you know. But what I want you to do is stop and think about if this gallery is going to work for you. Because we all I feel so many of us undervalue ourselves. So to get deeper into who you are and love yourself and know who you are and what you're about, you are going to be really more in charge of where your business is going, where your work is going. You can get into the best gallery and never sell your work because it doesn't match or align with you. So we will be in here talking about galleries and shows and different pieces like that. But I want to talk, just to start with, a little bit about the market. So, you know, so here's the thing, is that your work definitely has a place in the world. And once we can clear that space, and like I said, it's like I love when people, you know, show up for the talks inside here. I meet live once a month. This month it is April 8th. It's always the Wednesday at 3 o'clock, the first Wednesday of the month. This one came so quickly, so we're doing the 8th. But your work definitely has a place. So once you can clear a space by meeting, by doing some of these prompts, by doing this breath work in here, you're getting clearer on where you're going. Then you can ask the real question of, where does my work belong? So again, I want to remind you, your business is as personal as your work. So, and after many years of teaching, I have seen that every single person that has ever come into my life has a different voice in their work. So that I absolutely know. So you can expect that you can find your own unique market, as unique as your work. So your market is not something that you're going to copy. You know, it's like your friend could say, oh, you need to get in this gallery, or like, oh my gosh, if I get into this gallery, you know, I'm going to be, you know, I'll feel like I'm on top of the world. You don't want to use your ego when you're getting aligned and finding where your market is. So it's not something you copy because you think it's the best thing that's going to happen. There is no one path. Once you're aligned and know who you are, you'll be able to move into the market that fits you best. For instance, I thought this was really interesting. This one woman that I met along the way, you know, she was one of my students, and I love seeing these artists and people progress. Oh my gosh, do better, bigger business than me, because that shows me the way too. So she actually was an alcoholic, and she got into AA, and her work, as she got deeper into getting aligned through her program, her work became, she would like stamp in different messages to people who were recovering from alcohol. And she ended up getting her work, it was a voice. She just went online with it, but it was a voice all around the United States, where messages were on there. People could wear their work. There were talismans that people could wear to help keep them aligned and knowing who they are and aware, so they wouldn't sink into going back to drinking again. Her business took off so big. She bought a big piece of property in Santa Fe, and I was so proud of her. So there's so many different markets to do. Another student that came in recently, she actually has been really embracing voodoo, the whole voodoo, which is a scary subject for some, but it really is just about talisman. You know, she studied it, she knows it, she builds them. And her market, she goes into all of these type of spiritual, you know, yoga places, and she sells wholesale, and she does a booming business. So what we're doing this month is getting in and you thinking about who you are and how you would best be happy in the world and where you're going to in your market. So it is something that reflects. So your market is something that reflects who you are, where you come from, how you like to live your life, and like what type of a working situation you want, which is, do you like being around people? Do you like being in your studio? Do you like, you know, what do you like to do? So it's all these different types of questions. So in understanding your market, this month we will open up the door to different paths in your work, and you can decide where do you fit. So some of the categories that, I even want to, you know, I'm going to do a little bit right now. So it's like, there are a number of categories that I want us to really think about. And we can do these really just on a very general level, and then we can get deep. So I want you to think about galleries and boutiques. Why do I say gallery and boutique together? Because I love boutiques. Oh my gosh, there are the swankiest boutiques out now. And I love shopping for wearables at boutiques. So really, it's not just a place when you pick a gallery, and I want you to pick a gallery or you to pick a boutique by the time we get finished with this month. A gallery is not just a place, it's a partnership. So galleries, you know, if you think about it as a partnership, they'll bring you exposure, they'll bring you some credibility, you'll get collectors coming in, you'll have your own collectors. They will help you to shape your brand and presentation. So it's their business to have you sell better. They'll actively sell your pieces because it's in their business to sell your work. So when you're aligned with the right gallery or the right boutique, they'll elevate your work and your career. So I want you to think about this though, because here's the truth. It's not about, ooh, I hope this gallery picks me, I hope I'm accepted. This is about you knowing who you are and you're going to pick. It's about being aligned. I have people telling me all the time, and you know that, oh my gosh, and you know, it's that I don't understand. This is a really good gallery. This is the best gallery in the world, in the United States. You don't understand. They want my work, but you know, but their work isn't selling. I've had people tell me that many times. They pick the best gallery in the world and their work doesn't sell there. And my only answer is, then it's not the gallery or the boutique for you. They're not looking at you. They're not concerned with you. They don't have an interest in you. So move on. Let's not waste our time. So a no, also, hear this, a no is not a rejection. So if you get turned down for a show, if you get a rejection letter, if you get a no for a gallery, it's not really saying that your work is not good. It's just simply saying that this isn't the right fit. And I want you to think that same way about it. So the truth about being a fit, some of the most beautiful, amazing, because I've been with the jurors and been a juror before too. Some of the most amazing work gets turned down, not because it isn't good, because it doesn't fit. And that's all. So you remove the emotion out of your decisions and you just align with what you're doing. When a juror puts together a show, and I have done this before, you're looking for a beautiful presentation that has balance and presence. And if a beautiful, amazing piece doesn't fit in your collection for a gallery presentation, you can't use it, that's all. It doesn't, so you can't get emotional about not, or maybe there's too many jewelers or too many clothing items in there. So that's really it. Said and done, not emotional. So we remove the emotion from that and we ask instead, where do I fit? So we're going to go deeper into galleries and asking yourself questions inside unfolding this month in this other section. But the second area that I really, really, truly, there's these two areas. This area, retail art shows, is really where I want to work on this month. And I know many people already are doing these retail, but this is where a lot of artists begin or expand or end, and you can grow from it, especially one that's local. Or if you have a gallery and your retail art show, do a couple art shows a year, and a gallery, you can work hand in hand, and you want to pass as much business to your gallery or to your boutique that you can. Remember, that's a symbiotic relationship. So you want to give them business so they can give you business. And we'll talk about a lot of different ideas like showing up and doing trunk shows and things like that for your galleries. There's so much information there. But this month we're really diving deep into retail and art shows, So with these shows, you have the reason why I love every single person to do one retail art show, of your choice, where you fit, what aligns with you. So this month we're getting into that. So you get some beautiful direct communication with your customers and what they like and what they don't like. And sometimes the first time that you show up there, you don't sell anything, but people think about you and they'll come back next year. So you want to stay consistent. So another cool thing is you get some immediate feedback on your product, like, oh my gosh, I love that. I wish I could wear it as a bracelet, or I wish this could be this way. You start really hearing who your people are and what they're looking for firsthand. Another thing is, you start developing a beautiful community and your work gets to be shown. So, it's like you start knowing who you are by your customers. They can come up and be like, oh my God. Like for me, I started my work and I went out retail many years ago and I did a retail show. And afterwards, I would have people that would write to me or call me and say, oh my gosh, I was wearing your bracelet when I was crossing the street and I almost got hit by a car, but I had your bracelet on and I felt like it saved my life. I had so many people say that to me early on that I started realizing, oh my gosh, I'm building the talisman jewelry, the talisman pieces that I was seeing whenever I would travel all over the world, right? So it helps you get clearer with who you are and what you're doing. So that's community and visibility. And one of the other things that you'll do is you'll get a real understanding of what resonates in your work and what direction you're going. And you always want to do those big important pieces. So this is where all your confidence is built, on getting out there to a show, hearing feedback. It's where your work meets the world face to face, straight on, and you get to hear and feel the truth. So inside here, I have a link for us to explore, and I'll go into a lot more details about who accepts me. And I'm not saying you need, I see some people that do 10 a year, and good Lord, if you pick one or two good ones that fit you, that you're aligned with, that you go back to over and over again, you really should be able to do enough work the whole year and do enough business at one or two or maybe 3 shows a year where you could really make a good living for yourself. I see a lot of people who pick 10 shows and they're always on the road, and yes, they sell well, but it's like, whatever fits you, really. Here I am advising you for that, but whatever fits you. So those are really the 2 areas we're going to dive deep into this month. But then the other ones I see a lot of artists doing now is online, self-built spaces where you build, you build it, you market it, you sell it, and you ship it. The last one that I want to talk about that we really won't get into that much detail about this year, but it's the wholesale market. And that's what I love, because when I really look at who I am and what I'm doing, it's like, yes, I love talking to people and I love teaching, but I really love working with business people who are like, oh, I'd rather build more of one piece and work wholesale than, in larger quantities than, what a little bit, than in retail. But I do retail, believe me, because it's a larger reach. You get less money for it. It's more expansive, and it's faster movement. And that's like what has really settled in with me. So that's really going to be really cool, what we're getting deep into, you guys. So I'm excited about that. That's going to take up a lot of our room. But the other thing that we have in here that I'm so excited about, wait till you get to the project. Every month, I put a project inside here. And this month, I want you to expand into working with bronze. So it's really cool. And also it's like I like to layer things in. So we're working with soldering bigger, with bigger pieces. And also I have samples, and I'll do a little talk inside there too. But it's working with bronze and, all traditional work of bezel setting with filigree bezel, with larger expansive, setting it right using a bronze solder from start to end. So you can build anything that you want to in bronze. And this is kind of a good note for people who are, working with silver. Silver's at a good price right now. It's going to settle down. I know I gave that talk because there's a lot of artists like, no, what do I do? So anyway, it's just good to get in and explore deeper into a different material. I'll talk more about someone else that I know who was just in my studio. She worked all in bronze and copper, and her work was so beautiful and amazing, and it was really exciting. She built kind of big talisman pieces, and she sold her work in the Southwest. And so when she came into one of my workshops that I have here in my studio, which I have one more that's opening up very soon, and that's in November, everyone here inside of Unfolding will get first dibs at coming into my workshop. But when she, what I worked with her with was just getting to know solder better, this type of solder, silversmithing. She wasn't even an accomplished silversmith yet, but she knew her market. She went to the big markets, and she has a beautiful market. I think she has like 12 different galleries that she sells to, or boutiques. And, it's like she can't do enough of it. So I think she's going to, what we talked about is her coming back in, taking a little break from the galleries, deciding what she really wants to do. Which galleries are working for her, which ones aren't. How is her work going to shift? How can she maybe have some of this work done maybe by casting or whatever to give her a bigger picture, a complete picture. So that's the kind of things that I like to work in here. I talked about it in Unfolding this month. Every month it's like I'm putting in pathfinding and building a body of work in all these different markets. So every month you're going to get some pretty good content, and I'm super excited. So to show up in person, you guys, we are meeting April 8th, Wednesday at 3 p.m. The link is down here in the Zoom. It's a Zoom, and the link is down here. And I want to remind you guys again to make sure you download the app. So once you get inside Unfolding, you can download the app, and it's on your phone. And it's so easy to get to all this material. This helps me because I decided to have a long talk today, and sometimes I have a long talk like this. But I know if you've got your earbuds in and you're driving in the car, or you're running or taking a walk, you can actually just do this on the road. But I want to add one more thing, like as we're closing out here and getting around to all the different areas, that your work, you guys, selling your work is not just about talent. There's a lot of factors, and that's why we're here. It's about putting together a cohesive body of work that's effective, getting a clear story, a strong identity, a consistent presentation, and aligning to the correct audience. So your work doesn't stand alone. It sits inside of a larger conversation. And that's what we're doing in Unfolding for actually this whole year. So your challenge this month, and for people listening, is in discovering your personal market. It's not about applying. It's about, it's not quickly. It's not like a task. You're going to let yourself feel into this. And I'm just going to give you a couple questions and leave you with that. Is what feels like, what feels like my people? What excites me just enough to feel a little bit nervous. Ah, always be right on that edge, you know? If you don't take a risk, what excites you enough to feel a little bit nervous? It's like if you don't take that risk, you're never going to get anywhere. So that's what we're doing this month. So I think it'll be nice and strong. I hope to see you guys for the meeting. We also have the algorithm. Brooke actually has a whole algorithm. So if you guys are interested, we actually have, pop on. You can jump in at any time. It's posting. What we do is we build each other's Instagrams and Facebook. So we'll get on and we'll like and we'll follow and we'll, help build. Because if you have a small Instagram of not very many people, it's hard at this time to get over to the other side of having people see your work, right? So we get in and we help build each other's algorithm. Brooke has prompts in there every month that are really cool that we could even talk about at the monthly meeting. Think about what you want to talk about. If you aren't able to make it to our monthly meeting on April 8th, you can ask me some questions, email me some questions, and I'll talk about them when we meet. It's a time to connect and talk to other people. And it's, really about connecting to our community here. So don't forget to download the app. Meet me for the meeting that we're going to have on April 8th. We'll start, get into the breath work, you guys. That's the first step, is this breath work. You're going to feel so good. It's only 20 minutes long. You're going to feel so good and clear. And then on this next video inside here, we're going to go deeper into what works for your personal marketing. Okay? So exciting. This is all for you. We're building you into this whole big picture. So I'll see you in the next video.